Let's get started with the topic. So the first thing I want to ask is, what is this?
It's like stone floor mills.
Yes, exactly. What you say you hear in movies, chakki peesna. So this is that
Yes.
manual process where you put in wheat and the flour is created. You rotate it with your hand. Now, what is this?
Sir, it's like Taiwan. It's also used to in the previous time. So used to grind something like
Yes,
watermelon.
yes, exactly. So if you see, we had this one completely manual process, and then this was kind of automated by the flow of water. You are converting the energy, and you are doing what was done manually. You have kind of automated it, right? Now, what is this? Triple students should be able to answer.
It's also mill.
Yeah, it's a meal, and the difference is here you are using the natural flow of water, and here you are using electricity to do the same thing which was done manually here, right? So, from a manual process, you went to semi-automatic and kind of automated. And then what is this? This is again a meal, but mass production. You are doing lots of production at the same time through electricity and automation. So industry 4.0 is what we are going through presently, and since it is industry 4.0, it's natural to assume that there were three more industrial revolutions in the past. So what were the three industrial revolutions? First was industry 1.0. So what happened in industry 1.0 was that the manual process was revolutionized through the use of water and steam. So you might have heard of steam engines. So that is the start of the industrial revolution. That was industry 1.0, and it happened somewhere around the end of the 18th century. The second was industrial revolution 2.0, that happened around the beginning of 20th century, and it was introduction of mass production lines using electric energy. So the pioneer in this field was Henry Ford, and what he did, he took the concept from a pork industry and put it into manufacturing of cars. The mass production, that was termed as industrial revolution 2.0. Then came industry 3.0. Industry 3.0 was the use of electronics and automations to do the same things which were done manually in this part. So first, we somewhere here before industry 1.0, we had manual processes. Then we used water and steam to automate it somewhat. Then with the use of electrical energy, we were doing mass productions. In industry 3.0, we used automations and smart electronics and all to reduce the manual effort that we are doing. And industry 3.0 happened somewhere in the beginning of the 1970s. And now comes industry 4.0. Industry 4.0 is based on cyber physical systems, and this is what we are going through currently. And we'll discuss more what industry 4.0 is. But if you see one thing, the complexity is increasing throughout the industrial revolutions. The complexity in industry 1.0 was less compared to 2.0. In 3.0, it's more than 2.0, and in 4.0, it's much more complex right now. So what exactly does industry 4.0 look like? Take an example of this car manufacturing plant. So you have the manufacturing line, and what happens is the raw materials or the chassis and the bonnets and all, they enter from one part of the production line, and they keep moving in the line one after the other. At each stop, more and more parts are added, and at the end of the production line, a finished car is the output, which is put in containers and shipped. So this is what the factories look like today. That is saying that industry 4.0 is not in place in this particular manufacturing plant. But with industry 4.0, what will happen is you can have multiple production lines, and each production line will know what amount of work has been put into each car. So here if you see, each of these process, each of these stops, let's say, they are programmed to do one job. And even if you put a finished car into this particular robot will try to do the same thing again, which is a waste of time, effort and money. And if there is a problem in any of the steps in this production line, the entire line stops. But with Industry 4.0, you can have multiple production lines, and in each production line, you can do some part of the work, and the entire plant knows what work has been done on this particular car that is going to be manufactured. Now let's say this particular line breaks down. So this can be put here, and this particular stop already knows how much amount of work has been done and what else needs to be done. So in a way, we are bringing more smartness into the plants compared to what is already existing. We say the plants are smart, but now we are bringing more smartness, and we are also bringing connectivity in them. So connected industries, connected components is what Industry 4.0 is largely about. So some examples of connected and smart products are like this lighting bulbs, which you can control through your phone, through internet, and you can give various settings like the color and the timing of blinking, and to dim it, brighten it. Or you have this Medtronic's digital blood glucometer, which wirelessly keeps monitoring, and it keeps sending the data to the cloud. And in the event of some abnormality, the patient gets notified about it, that there is some problem, and it can be extended, and some companies are already doing it, that a notification is sent to their caretakers and the doctors that this particular patient is having a problem and maybe the blood sugar has risen too much, please look into it. Or there are sports industries where they are trying to capture the performance data of the athletes. Like you might have heard about Anil Kumble's venture into getting data from the batsmen and bowlers in cricket. So the bats are integrated with smart devices which will keep on collecting the data of how the batsman's performance is. And then you have this Babelot. Again, it's kind of the bat which we talked about from Anil Kumble's venture. Here also there are integrated systems which are monitoring the performance, and once you have the data, the current performance data, you can dig into the data and find out more areas of improvement.